So, one of the things about me is that I'm a problem solver. I believe in analyzing a situation and looking at it as and realistically trying to figure out what you can do to solve a problem. Um, we've been in this country historically since 1619, according to the history books. And there's some people say we've been here before that, but we'll go with that. So we've been here, I guess, what, 400 years, and we've been trying to solve the problem of racism probably since about 1865. We've been free-ish, and through the years we've had, um, if you look at our history in the United States, in 1865 we had a whole Reconstruction era where people uh, started colleges for Black people. People started getting education. People started being politically active. In 1870, Black men got the right to vote. Black men, not women, Black men got the right to vote. Black women didn't get the right to vote until Black women didn't get the right to vote until 1920 with white women. But really, all of us didn't really get the right to vote until about 1964. But because of all the voter suppression and all of the everything that Medgar Evers died for, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm saying all this to say that when we look at our history, historically, we've been fighting for our rights since 1865, since we became acknowledged as free people under the 14th Amendment, which gave us full citizenship. Um, and here we are in 2020, and we're still fighting for our citizenship. Um, what worked in 1865 was us becoming politically active. We joined the government. We became congressmen, senators. We had a senator, our first Black senator in that era, and didn't have another one again for a long, 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 long time. Um, so one of the ways for us to solve the problem of racism is to be politically active. Another one is to vote. Anybody saying don't vote, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to hear from you. Because if you're saying don't vote, then that means Medgar Evers died for nothing. And I refuse to believe that. And that's an insult to that man who died in his driveway so you could vote. So don't say that. And also, if you think about it, if voting was such an inconsequential thing, it wouldn't be suppressed. The Republican Party wouldn't be going across the nation trying to suppress our right to vote if it was so inconsequential. So don't say that, because that's categorically untrue. So we can be politically active, we can be in political office, and we can vote. Those are three main doable things that we can do and that we should do and that we are doing, but we need to do more. In addition to that, we need to be in charge in other areas. We need to be in charge at banks. If you're in a bank and you're in decision making capacity where you can decide if potential homeowners get loans, that's one way that you can help solve the inequalities is by helping us get home ownership, because home ownership is one way to develop generational wealth. That's one thing. Another thing, we can be in positions of power within the government as judges, deciding whether someone gets sentenced 2 months or 2 years. That's important. Deciding whether someone has a misdemeanor or a felony. That's important because that gives that person job opportunity or takes it away. We can decide whether cases even get handled by being state prosecutors. So being in that position, a position of power, that's huge. And that's something that needs to happen, because if we had a Black state's attorney in Minneapolis, those three other police officers who stood by and watched George Floyd get killed would be charged by now. So we have to be in these positions of power. That's another solution. We have to raise up our babies, our kids, to want to be in those positions. And if they want to be lawyers, we have to encourage them so they pursue those positions. We also have to be in charge in schools. Black people are disproportionately punished in schools, and discouraged from learning. We have to be in charge in schools. We have to be teachers. We have to be administrators. And as in those positions, we have to encourage our kids. Don't put them out the classroom. I don't put kids out of my classroom. You don't want to learn, you're going to learn. You have a choice. You can learn or you can learn. That's your option. So we have to be in these positions where we are encouraging our young people to gain positions of power, because that's the only way this is going to stop. And yes, it's definitely not easy. But if they can do it in 1865, we can do it in 2020. I mean, we have to look at what people did before us. That's why history is so important to me. Because if I can see them do it in a time when people are being strung up, then in 2020, when people are dying with cops' knees in their back, we can still do it. Okay? We're still facing the same issue, but we can still do it because we're strong people. We got to do it. We have no choice. We have to do it. We have to. So that's our problem solving. We have to be in charge.